Hello, my name is Chris. Today I'm going to present my project from the UX Fundamental course. The purpose of this project was to design a vocabulary hub for mobile phone. Here is how the presentation will go. First of all, I'm going to present my persona as well as the problem brief and the challenges my persona is facing. Then I'm going to present the key features I've decided to design for this project and the prototypes related. I will also talk about the usability test plan. Next, I'm going to show the early prototypes and how I've improved them. Finally, I will talk about the next steps. This is a code from my persona. I am always learning something new as a freelancer for my client projects, for myself, for helping out friends. But being busy with all the projects I'm working on makes it difficult to find dedicated time for learning. Philip Martin is a San Francisco based freelancer. He works in web design, photography, UX UI design. Because Philip takes different products from different clients that specialize themselves in different fields, it has to be up to date in those fields, and that means learning all the time. But here comes the time dilemma. Here is the project brief. For this project, we will be picking about the experience of memorizing and understanding new concepts, techniques, and terms by researching and designing an app to learn new vocabulary. Talking about Philip, he needs a way to learn new things related to all his projects on a daily basis and quickly. But doing so it's not easy for Philip because it is hard for him to find dedicated time to learn, and also is always struggling with new jargon from those new fields. That's why I chose these two features as the main features of the vocabulary hub I'm designing for people like Philip. The mobile app is named Octopus. And with Octopus, people like Philip will be able to use their own words in order to define new vocabulary they're learning. Also, they could set reminders for long term learning in order to start developing good habits. Those are the early prototypes of Octopus. First, we have a welcome page with the logo, which is an octopus, obviously. Then, an onboarding process where the users can introduce themselves and they can tell what they're looking for. After, there is a home page where the user can search new vocabulary, pick a deck to learn, or create their own deck. To run the usability test, I've chosen four tasks for the user, which are to choose a topic to study, to start studying a new deck from the topic selected, to set reminders for this topic, and finally to create their own deck. The usability tests have been run by Skype calls for the most part. What was very difficult to manage, knowing that it was my first time doing it. So for most of the usability tests, we spent more than an hour sometimes to run the test. From those tests, I've learned that my prototype was missing a sign in and sign out button, which is very outrageous. Also, the home page wasn't clear enough, so it was difficult for the user to understand which button to press to access a certain deck. Or the second key feature, which was to set the new, um, sorry, which was to set the reminders, it was missing some going back buttons. So at some point, the user was stuck, which is also very outrageous to not being able to go back to the previous step or page. After the test, after the test, I've tried to fix those issues by, prototyping new pages. For me now, the next steps will be to run new tests with the user in the same room as myself if possible, because I think it's better to doing running the test with being in the same room as the the users makes it easy to see their expression, to see their emotions, how they're struggling, or if they're not struggling, if they're happy with the design, if they're understanding the design, etc. Finally, what I've learned from this experience is that I have to start thinking more like the final user, which means to be more empathetic. Also, is never a good idea to take things for granted because we live in a constant evolving society. So it is very important to be more open minded and also open to changes. Finally, it is very important to always put on papers all the ideas in order to document the process and the evolution of the design. So, this is the end of my presentation. I hope that you have to learn more about my design, and also the designing process I've been on since since a couple of months. Thank you for your attention.